So, am I successful? I suppose it's a question that we all ask ourselves. I can only talk about it from my point of view for a minute, and also perhaps how I encourage other photographers to look at their success and kind of really looking at what it's going to be for them, because I think it is different for us all. For me, 40 years on now in the job of photography, I'm kind of man and boy, and okay, I'm at the end of my kind of career, as it were. But balance is the key thing, and that's what I know now. I couldn't have told you that in my 20s. I couldn't have told you that even probably in my first decade of business, because I wasn't immature, but I didn't understand really what life was about. And now I understand a little bit more. Some people get to really understand what they want out of life at a very young age, and others kind of go on a kind of bit of a career path, and we kind of get distracted and so on. I'm sure you've heard me before. I'm a shopkeeper's son, so from the age of 10, I'm working in the family butcher shop. The things really, I get hooked on photography at 16, thanks to my cousin Russ. And basically, by the time I'm sitting my A levels at 18, I'm ready to go to art college, but not to do photography, but to actually do art. It was kind of a little bit of a fractured kind of element at the time, because you could either go to art school to do art, or you could go to a photographic school and do photography. There wasn't a kind of a mix at the time. And I didn't think I was going to go to photography. Anyway, I went to work for a photographer, and then not long after I went to work for John, I met Debbie, who became my wife then within a couple of years. And then we began a family, and I was kind of dissatisfied working where I was, not because of the job, because I love the job and I love John, but the salary was just terrible. And, I was still having to work on Saturdays for my dad in the butcher shop. If I had weddings going on, I would kind of go to work for my dad, go home to have a shower, say hi to Debs. If the kids were up, the kids were up, and then actually get ready to actually go out and do the wedding, shoot the wedding and so on with it. So, success was kind of need then, and just paying the salary to myself, or paying an extra bit into the family home, even paying the mortgage at times. That's what some of us would say is kind of success. But artistic success is really what I got into photography. I love photography. I still to this day love photography. I love to see others creating photography. I love to observe and look at and watch, as well as I like to help others kind of get better. However, in my own, I love to take photographs. And I would have said that artistic fulfillment, go back 30 years ago, let's say, so 10 years into the job, artistic fulfillment would have been it. Financial stability obviously has to be there with family home and kids and, blah, blah, blah. You've got to do what you're put on this planet to do. I don't know how single parents manage in this financial explosion, as it were. But never mind now, then was the same kind of thing with it. I'm lucky enough that I've had an amazing woman by my side, and everything that Debbie and I have is earned through the world of photography. And at a young age, I kind of, as I said, it was like, Deb, I may as well go work for ourselves because my salary is so bad. It shouldn't be that difficult for me to actually replace my salary pretty quickly. We're already doing X amount of weddings. And so that is a proof that we can kind of do some work and everything else with it. And Debbie was a nurse and things. And so we took the jump, and, for that first 10 years, I've got to be honest, it's hard. It's hard. And if you said success, are you a successful photographer to me then, I would have said artistically, yeah, I love what I'm doing. I love to come to work. I love to shoot. I love every client. I treat every client as a new idea. I like the mix between the portraiture, the wedding, and the commercial photography and everything else. But financial stability probably took a little bit longer than that for me to really understand. But that's because you want a better car, and you want a better house, and you want a better holiday, and you want, better things, and you want to go away more, you want to eat out more, and all those kind of things. And that's where it kind of really fractures as far as financial stability, because if you earned, after 5 years what your plan was, in fact, your plan has moved so far on by that point, you need to pretty much earn another 100% on top of what you were doing to kind of move to your next financial stability. But I waffle on. Look, for me, recognition, awards was what kind of kept me cooking on gas, enjoying the job, and really trying to actually show I was a good photographer. And we all like a tap on the back from whatever we do. When you start to actually go after the awards, and perhaps for some of you, you're not having that kind of recognition or success with the awards yet, don't worry about it. Just keep shooting what you love. Don't try and impress others. Shoot for you. And if you're a professional photographer, I understand you have to become a prostitute to some extent. You have to do work for money. In other words, if you're a portrait photographer, a wedding photographer, commercial photographer, there's somebody who is basically telling you what they would like, and you're fitting within that brief. However, at the end of that brief, go beyond. That's the key thing with it, for me. So financial stability, is that balance. Client satisfaction, without a doubt. I think that goes together with the rewards and the awards, is when a client says they are brilliant. Recently, in fact, just weeks ago, I had a client contact me and said, "Hi, Mark, not sure if you're still taking photographs and things really, but my grandchild is 18 months now, and I still have a picture of my daughter when she was at the same age up on my wall, and she's 26 now," whatever. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm old. But yeah, they treasure what we're doing, and that is that kind of real recognition. And so that is a part of success and things. But I would also say, when I was talking about the awards and kind of trying to impress my peers, in fact, really, it was the friendship group that I created within the industry that really was what I was looking for, was like-minded people, some more than others, but some like-minded people where we can kind of really enjoy to bounce off each other, kind of almost push each other, kind of cry on each other's shoulders at times as well, because we're all on a kind of a journey as such, Sat here today, do I wish I went to the gym every day? Yeah, I do. I kind of been swimming quite a lot, but I haven't been swimming every day for the past 8 weeks, and I can make excuses on that. I could just make excuses. I think we all make excuses, and that's kind of another thing that stops us perhaps from kind of being successful, because we've made an excuse by not doing something. We kind of then look at it and you go, well, that was just an excuse, and we can admit that to ourselves. But what drives us, what pushes us, can only be us. Balance is key. I would say, if you're looking for a short answer now after me waffling on for 8 minutes, but balance. If you can find balance, that financial stability to live the lifestyle that you want, not what others are living. If you can get that recognition that you need, even if it's a tap on the back from the local vicar or your local business community, or a mum with an 18-month-old, whatever it be, if you can get that, that's great. But, family is key. Both of my sons are successful, and I bet they're going through all the kind of the second guessing of themselves. How do they remain successful? How do they keep on being successful? And I don't really know what else to say in this, because when you start to look at, are you successful? Today, I feel I am more successful than I've ever been, and I'm less of a photographer today than I ever have been, because I'm now spending time with my grandkids. I'm now spending time with my family. And I get to balance the amount of time within photography instead of 6 days a week all consuming me. And when you're getting a business going at the start, you have to consume yourself in it no matter what, because otherwise you just don't survive. You start a business and the business isn't going to work because you haven't put the time in. But that stability, that artistic fulfillment today, I need it. I need for myself to take photographs. And it is for the love of photography today. You know, it began as the love of photography. You get some blips and valleys and hills and all that kind of thing, the highs and lows, in other words, in your kind of career, but balance. But the key thing at the real point of success is enjoying your photography, make time for you, and just don't kind of shoot what a client wants. Make sure you spend some time for you and make sure you shoot for you, no matter what anybody else thinks and things, really. Long-winded, I think, but are you successful? Answers below, I suppose.